How long can you survive without an income? 1 week? 1 month? A year? This pandemic has jolted many of us into an unexpected, stark reality of what a financial crisis is all about. So how will you survive the next one? Number 1. Reduce your debt. It sounds obvious, but with the allure of credit card and overdraft facilities, it's so easy for us to just swipe a card, get instant gratification, and then cry into our wineglass at the end of the month when we can't pay it back. A handful are great at swiping and paying back every month, but let's be honest, it's not easy. Even if you start right now, by adding an extra $50 paying off your debt each month, not only does it reduce your payback cost, obviously, but the interest reduces too. Every dollar paid back is one less you don't need to worry about in the future. Number 2. Learn to differentiate between your creditors. Every month, there are certain creditors that must be paid regardless of anything. Things like the IRS, certain loan issuers, child support, and alimony. That's not saying you can't get them discharged, but it's a heck of a process to do so. While some creditors might be discharged if you're bankrupt, others might just be more lenient in your payback amount and period, or just scrap the debt entirely. But be sure to keep up with the super creditors, like paying your federal taxes. When it comes to finance, we've got videos that will help you through any and every season you find yourself in. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for plenty of solid, helpful advice. Number 3. Know which assets are safe and which are not. One of the scariest things about an economic crisis and not being able to pay your debt is wondering what could be taken from you to cover that debt. Find out which assets are exempt from collection. By statute, if you declare bankruptcy, these assets will be protected. Of course, this would differ depending on the laws of your own country and even differs from state to state. To paint it with a broad brushstroke, non-exempt assets would be a second home, supplementary vehicles or trucks, boats or recreational transport, valuable items and collections. In any investment accounts, anything deemed essential for everyday living is not affected. Number 4. Maximize your liquid savings. Guys, what do you need most? Cash. And as the saying goes, cash is king. Things like savings checking and money market accounts will tide you over, not like stocks or index funds, where values change depending on market conditions. The beauty with cash is unlike any investment cashed in early. You won't lose money, of course, you lose your savings, but that's what it's there for. To survive tougher and leaner times. Make sure you have enough saved to fulfill your major obligations. Things like tuition fees, medical aid, insurance are all important to continue paying. As long as you can cover the essentials, you'll be okay until things turn around, which they will. As an old proverb says, the art is not in making money, but in keeping it. Number 5. Learn skills so you don't need to outsource. Before you start worrying that we're implying cutting your own hair or grooming your own dog, stop. We've seen the images circulating on the internet of dogs that are unrecognizable and humans that look like their dogs cut their hair. We're not talking about that. Look at what you pay other people to do. If it's hanging pictures, learn to do it yourself. Changing the oil and water in your car? Do it yourself. Fixing hems and sewing on buttons? You can do that yourself. All of these extras add up, and if you can learn a skill and save some money, double bonus. Number 6. Start living more frugally now. There are so many motivational sayings about how the time is now, and that can be said for living frugally too. So when things do get bad, you don't have to make huge lifestyle changes. You're already used to living that way. And even if a financial crisis doesn't occur, you've saved money, learned new skills, and been less of a drain on society. Your water usage is lower, your electricity bill reduced, you don't waste as much food anymore, and you're using products more sparingly, which in turn reduces wastage. Like author Catherine Pulsefer once said, being frugal does not mean being cheap. It means being economical and avoiding waste. Number 7. Renegotiate any insurances, contracts, or monthly expenses. One of the things many of us have had during the pandemic is truckloads of free time, and many people felt unmotivated to dive into fresh projects or bright ideas. So to save money without having to pretend to be Miss Sunshine with your shit together, simply pick up the phone and phone all your monthly financial commitments and see if you can reduce your insurance fees, your mobile phone bill, whatever monthly expenses, just to give your pocket a break. And also shop around so when you phone your supplier, you have a good idea of what the competition is offering, and ask if your current provider can match or better that rate. And we know it can be daunting chatting to random strangers on the phone, but when you see your savings each month, it'll definitely be worth the awkward conversations. Number 8. Have multiple income streams. Someone who knows about a side hustle is Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. His book Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter is a great book, and will inspire you to look at the side hustle differently and to take on things you normally wouldn't for great reward. Number 9. Invest in crypto. Now, as we said in our video 15 reasons why you should invest in crypto, Germany's Deutsche Bank mentioned crypto in their Imagine 2030 report. They talk about how fragile the traditional money system is, that by 2030, over 200 million people will be using digital money. And by then, traditional money will already be on the way out. And it's not just Deutsche Bank. Twitter's Jack Dorsey has said he believes Bitcoin will eventually become the world's single currency. Elon Musk has stated that crypto is a far better way to transfer value than a piece of paper. China State TV has called blockchain, the technology that makes crypto possible, 10 times more valuable than the internet. So if you're stuck and think you need some kind of PhD to invest in it, well, you're wrong. We've created the best and easiest course out there to guide you step by step through everything we've learned about Bitcoin and blockchain from scratch. It's called Bitcoin Essentials. If you want to be a part of this new revolution in technology and wealth, this is something you really don't want to miss out on. Number 10. Don't neglect routine maintenance. Even if it's a push and you're really strapped for cash, don't let any required maintenance get shoved aside, whether it's fillings at the dentist or a service for your car. If you neglect them, they end up costing a lot more. Further down the line, filling is not done turns into gingivitis and gum disease, a small problem in a vehicle that could have been fixed relatively affordably turns into a bigger, much costlier problem to fix. Regular maintenance is the best preventative measure for bigger problems and financial outlay. Number 11. Start growing your own produce. Going solar. Upcycling. Reusing your water. There's nothing more satisfying than cutting the leaves off your first spinach harvest or picking the tomatoes off your plant and popping them straight into your mouth. YouTube is jam-packed with how to grow your own fruits and vegetables, even in the smallest of places. Not only does growing your own food feed you, but there's a massive sense of pride attached to it. And where you can go solar. Some countries reward you for putting less strain on the power grid. Try upcycling if you spot a piece of rope on the beach and use it to make a swing instead of buying one for your kids. Use old tins to make a painted cutlery holder or a unique lampshade from old chicken wire. Really, your imagination is all you need. And lastly, reuse your water. Catch your shower water in buckets and use it to flush toilets. Or install a simple gray water system to flow into your garden. Number 12. Boost your credit score. This may sound counterproductive when speaking about a financial crisis, but often during these times, interest rates drop. People sell their businesses, cars, houses, and valuables, and you need to be ready to make a purchase quickly. And even if that's not your course of action, think about who a lender will want to lend money to during a crisis. Exactly. Someone with a strong credit score. Number 13. Tell people about your situation. Hiding it doesn't help. And you never know what others may be able to help you with. There's absolutely no shame or embarrassment to be going through a financial struggle. It happens to everyone. You're not unique here, and you'll be amazed at the generosity of people when you play open cards and on the other side of the coin. Number 14. Be prepared to share and start now. If you're doing well now, but someone else is struggling, help them. It doesn't have to be with actual money, but cook a meal, offer to babysit while they look for work, anything to ease their burden. If you're in a position to help someone else, then do it. Don't do it because you expect something in return. Do it because you genuinely care. And remember, kindness is a cycle. that person, when they're on their feet, will go and do the same for someone else. And so the cycle continues. And don't wait to start making these changes. Do it now. Number 15. Acknowledge that downturns happen. The tide does turn. Remember the Spanish flu? We've been seeing so many images of it in the last year and having our current situation compared to that deadly flu which began in February 1918 and lasted until April 1920. Remember what happened after that flu? The Roaring Twenties. So, there's always a silver lining. What advice can you give to others to get through a financial crisis? We always appreciate and value your input in the comments. Now you stuck with us until the end. Here's your bonus. It is so easy to fall into depression when you're hit by a financial crisis. We stop eating correctly, we don't get enough sleep or exercise. Our minds are restless and we are constantly anxious, which makes us ill. If you can make your health a priority before, during, and after a financial crisis, you'll be in a much better position to tackle the challenges. If you're struggling, reach out to a professional, a friend, a colleague. Lean on those that encourage and support you. Thanks so much for watching. We so much value your support.